right, y'all, we got Hoops Report! Alright, we watched this guy a few times, but let's see what he got talking about, because he's talking about the greatest basketball team of 2025-2026 NBA season. NBA champions on the way. The Warriors just became the NBA's worst nightmare. Let's talk about it.
If I asked you what the NBA's worst nightmare is, what would you say it is?
Steph Curry.
Maybe a catastrophic injury to one of its stars. Maybe another year of horrible ratings. Or maybe another scandal so big that it threatens the very integrity of the league itself.
My nightmare is a fully healthy
All of
Steph
these
Curry.
would be devastating. But the real nightmare, the one the NBA has been quietly guarded against for 2 decades, is that its most carefully protected story might suddenly come undone.
LeBron, you are the NBA's all-time scoring leader.
For 20 years, the league has built a single narrative, but stories have a way of escaping their author's control. And in 2026, that fear has taken shape in the form of Steph Curry and the 2026 Golden State Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA's worst nightmare has arrived. Last season, the Warriors didn't exactly get dealt the best hand in the playoffs.
That shit hurt me, bro. That shit hurt. When Jimmy got failed right there and that hurt, bro, people don't realize that stopped so much of his mobility. But it's okay, because he's healthy now. He's came back. They've gotten a full offseason together. They've bonded. We have so much camaraderie. It's ridiculous.
And that one, oh, look out. Wow, Butler goes down hard.
Sometimes you can prepare, you can execute, you can do everything right. And somehow, the basketball gods still say no.
Curry's hurt though, Coach. Something grabbed him. He's asking for relief from that bench.
This was the definition of anticlimactic. Because in the regular season, they were absolutely legit. I mean, they beat the defending champions 2-1. Then, after the...
Come on, bro. Like, people don't... I'm tired of people dissing us, bro. What did he just say?
They beat the defending champions 2-1.
Defeat the defending champions 2-1. 2-1. And they were talking about we didn't want to see them in the playoffs. Bro, we would love to see you in the playoffs. These wins are without Jimmy Butler. Like, what are we talking about? Oh my god, bro. Like, oh, they were so yap-fested. And now we're gonna get deep. Now we got Melt back. Come Buckets back. Seth Chef. Look at Curry's brother. We got Big Al. Oh man. They not ready.
Then,
and we got
after the
GP2
All-Star
back.
break, they were tied for the
Shot.
3rd best record in the league. The 2025 Warriors were real. They were moving the ball well, hitting shots, playing that classic Warriors brand of basketball. They were the team nobody wanted to see in the playoffs. But just when it mattered most, fate stepped in and ripped them out of contention. To many, that felt right. A second-round exit. But let's be real. No team in this league is winning anything.
Finna be 4-2 this week in fantasy. Oh, Cam's already talking shit. You already talking shit. Cam Killer Cam said, man, he said he was finna get the dub this week. He finna get the W this week, man. I refuse to lose to Cam. What? Cam said he's gonna get the dub. He's gonna get the dub. Cam and I cooking up a trade right now. If Cam accepts this trade, one of my RBs got hurt. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of felt bad because I'm like, bro, I love Amarian Hampton, but I would have never guessed that would have happened. I would have never guessed that would have happened. But I sent Cam a trade, and you know, if Cam decides to accept it, then he might have a chance to beat you this week. But you know, it's all up to Cam. It's his choice. if he wants a chance to just try to get that dub, then it's all good. He said, "What's the trade?" He's not. I don't think he's gonna accept it, so it don't really matter. It don't matter.
with their best players injured.
It don't matter. Trust me. He's probably not gonna accept it.
That was a season ago, though. The story of 2025. 2026,
He said he
however,
needed a receiver, so I was trying to trade him a receiver.
it's a different story this year.
You trying to scam him? No, I'm not. I'm not scamming him at
Hey
all.
guys, I'll be real with you.
I was trying to go after Jahmyr Gibbs. That's who I really wanted, but he didn't want to move on Jahmyr Gibbs, so I had to adjust, you know. But no, I'm giving him receivers that he would use and that I'm not gonna use. I'm giving him players that, and probably the next few weeks are just gonna be sitting on my bench. It says, "What does your team need?" I was just trying to build wide receiver depth. He was trying to get some more wide receivers, and I was just trying to give him some receivers that I feel that are good, but can be upgraded for better. So that's all I was doing. I'm chilling with my team. I don't need to make trades. I was just trying to help Cam out.
I'm not much of a gambler, but I do love finding ways to make the biggest sports moments feel even
Is this an
bigger.
ad?
That's why it's just look at the rank Steph Curry train recently. Have you seen Steph Curry train recently?
Have you seen Steph train? Cause he looks like the greatest ever. It says got two top 5 running backs in the league right now. Who? Me? Oh, you talking about me, right?
He's 37 years old now, but somehow it looks like he's still getting better. I mean, just look at the range on some of these shots.
J.K. Dobbins and
Holding
Jonathan
up from
Taylor.
beyond what most players would think is even possible.
You had the 2 top running backs with Jonathan Taylor and CMC. That combination was probably the most deadliest duo. That right there. But then you gave him away to your boy. And so now I have the deadliest duo. Both CMC and Devon Achane are pass catching backs too. That's what makes them both like kind of deadly. They're both pass catching backs and they're rushing backs. Not saying JK and Jonathan Taylor aren't, but I guarantee you by the end of the season, CMC and Achane, both of them will have way more receiving yards and way more receptions than J.K. Dobbins and Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, no, I know that. I know CMC's not 20 in rushing yards, but he's top. Right, he has reception numbers that can be a top 10 receiver right now, and he's a running back. That's the crazy part.
Possible. Then splashing them in
And
like
we
they're
play in
nothing.
full PPR league, so you get 1 full point for each pass they catch. So that's
in the
kind
weight
of
room?
cheese.
The man looks completely jacked. Like, look at those guns.
Number 2
you
for
might think all
all-purpose
that
yards.
extra muscle would slow him
I'm
down.
trying to tell you.
But his longtime trainer Brandon
Look at
Payne
Achane.
said
Look
that
at
the two-time
Achane.
MVP's
And look at his receiving
first step
yards.
quickness
And
and
his
explosiveness
receptions. Look at
is the
Achane.
fastest that it's ever been, if not faster.
Receiving backs are always unless the rushing back, somebody that like primarily rushes, so like Derrick Henry, the Jonathan Taylor. Sorry chat that this video is getting on fantasy because the video is nothing to do with fantasy, so I'm sorry YouTube, but Duncan's talking in the chat. Even though all these rushing people right here have upside, the upside for pass catching backs are just a little bit slimmer higher because you have that PPR added to it. That's all it is.
Payne
So,
also explained
CMC,
that as players
the Gibbs,
age,
the
one thing they
Achans,
can do
those
is continue
guys
to work
are
on
gonna be
processing
slightly
information
higher
faster
than
and make
the
faster decisions to offset
Jonathan
any gap that
Taylors,
is created
then
with
the
losing a
Derrick
step.
Henrys,
But that
then
hasn't
the
happened with
you know
him
those
yet.
type of guys. But those dudes
So,
have potential to
not only is
have
Steph
a lot
processing
of rushing
information faster
touchdowns.
than ever,
Josh Jacobs,
he's literally
for example.
moving faster
Those
than
dudes
ever.
have a lot of rushing touchdowns.
Sheesh.
You know,
The truth of the matter is, Steph Curry remains the most dangerous player in the game today.
Facts. Steph is the
His adaptability
most
to
dangerous.
warp defenses is
On the ball, off the ball, without the ball. Steph just walking into the gym makes him dangerous.
second to none. And remember, it was Curry who single-handedly carried Team USA to gold in the 2024 Olympics.
Facts.
Allez, faut continuer à aller voler les ballons. Et ce diable de Curry qui nous fait mal.
Steph Curry is the reason the NBA is nervous about 2026. But he's not the only reason.
Nope.
Steph Curry might be the Warriors' ultimate weapon, but their ultimate general is none other than the one that's called Jimmy Buckets,
Jimmy Butler.
also known as Playoff Jimmy in the postseason, and in some other hardcore basketball.
Bro, chat, I remember when Jimmy Butler very first got traded, and it felt like everybody was like, why is Jimmy holding back? Why does it look like he's like not here and not playing with his urgency? And it's like he was passing up on layups, being hella passive, and everybody was slandering Jimmy. And then as soon as like a week before the season started and playoffs came, Jimmy Butler just turned into a whole different person, and you're like, oh shit, that's Jimmy Butler. Like, it's crazy how playoff Jimmy actually is, bro.
Circles is also known as Jason Tatum's father.
Facts.
Last season, he arrived mid-year, so he didn't have much time to shape the squad, to put his stamp on the team. But this year, he's had a full offseason to prepare. And from everything we've seen, he's taking the job dead serious. And he's bringing that famous Heat culture straight into Golden State. Now, some people might say, yeah, but he couldn't even get the Warriors a single playoff win last year. But let's not forget,
He
Jimmy
got hurt,
was injured.
bro. Like, thank you. Like, people be slandering my boy, but like, he was hurt. Steph was hurt. Like, people weren't even 100%. Moody apparently was dealing with an injury as well. Pods was dealing with something in his hand, an injury. Like, we had guys that we didn't even know was dealing with stuff, and they were dealing with stuff. That's why we were getting results that we were getting. Pods struggling shooting, Moody struggling shooting, other players struggling doing things because of these knick-knacking injuries. So health plays a huge part in the role in this, man.
He was literally playing on one leg in that series, and there's only so much you can do when your body won't cooperate. And to those naysayers, I have one question for you. Why do you think Miami made it to 2 NBA Finals in the last 5 years?
Yep.
And how do you think they became a powerhouse in the East with a roster full of undrafted players?
Yep.
Well, the answer is Jimmy frickin' Butler. He just has a way of elevating everyone around him.
I knew it. I could just
Buddy.
feel the evilness.
I can feel the evilness.
I knew it, bro. They don't even want to talk to you.
Bringing Buddy Hield back to life,
Yes.
keeping
bro.
Draymond fully locked in,
I love Buddy
and
Hield
behind the scenes,
and the Jimmy Butler.
who knows how many others he's impacting. Sure, his media day photos might be, well, some of the strangest in NBA history, but don't let that fool you. His leadership is Jordan-esque. And that's why he's the second biggest reason the NBA's worst nightmare has come to life. The third reason is, well, Draymond Green at his peak,
Draymond
doing Draymond things.
choking out the dude with the Poole jersey, of course.
Honestly,
Of course.
I wonder what Jordan
JP3.
Poole thought when he saw this
I
clip.
was just gonna say JP, choking out the JP3 jersey, of course, of course.
On June 17th, 2022, right after the Warriors won the championship against the Boston Celtics, a certain woman fired off a tweet that said, "Congrats to the bitch-ass Warriors, blah, blah, blah." If you're wondering who that woman is, well, it's Anna Horford, the sister of
Wow. That's crazy. This man, bro, my boy Hoops is really exposing these.
who that woman is.
Sad for my brother
Well,
who played an
it's
amazing game.
Anna
Go
Horford.
C's. Well, I wonder how Anna feels about it now with him joining the team. Let's see if he found some more evidence.
The sister of none other than Al Horford. Yes, that Al Horford. But guess what? That same Al Horford just signed with the Golden State Warriors. And you know what? This post here perfectly sums up how I feel about Al.
Al Horford needs some haters, and I'm gonna be one of them. I fucking hate Al Horford. This nigga just pissed me off. Words can't express how much I hate this nigga, Al Horford. Welcome to the Bay, Al Horford. Ah! That was him.
Al Horford. All jokes aside, Al Horford is exactly the type of center the Warriors have been missing. The Celtics desperately wanted him back, but hey, too bad, so sad. Now sure, some people will say he's a dinosaur, pushing nearly 40.
He's a dinosaur.
But here's the truth. In the 2025 playoffs, Horford logged 31 minutes a game while shooting just shy of the legendary 50-40-90 mark. That's not a wash. That's filthy. The Godfather can stretch the floor, anchor the defense, and bring another level of veteran leadership this roster hasn't seen for a while. But here's where it gets even scary. Horford might be the perfect mentor for Quentin
For QP,
Post,
I said that.
the Warriors' 25-year-old 7-foot center
mentor
who
for
has the
QP.
size, the versatility, and the force, but just needs a little of that steady veteran presence to guide him. What I'm trying to say is this. If these two can stay healthy, Golden State will suddenly have two rock-solid centers they can throw up in any matchup. And depending on how Steve Kerr decides to use his lineups, the Warriors might have a new lethal iteration of the death lineup coming up in 2026. And speaking of lethal, 9-2. Ladies and gentlemen, 9-2. Do you know what those numbers mean? That was the Warriors' record last season before DeAnthony Melton went down with injury. Okay, so he's not the biggest name in the league, and standing just 6'2", he's not a giant either. But last year, when he shared the floor
DeAnthony
with
Melton
Steph
was
Curry,
a huge
Golden
part,
State looked
a
unstoppable.
huge part of our success.
I don't know exactly what it is, but the chemistry he brought made the Warriors look like one of the best teams in basketball.
Exactly.
And this was even without Jimmy Butler. Well, now today, Melton is back in the Bay, fully healthy. And sheesh, do y'all smell what the Rock is cooking?
It's gonna
All
be,
offseason,
gonna
the
be a
one
good
shadow
season.
hanging over Golden State was Kuminga's contract. But ladies and gentlemen, just as expected,
He's
that storm has already passed.
Finally, the Jonathan Kuminga summer-long stalemate is over.
Kuminga isn't just another young player. At 23 years old, he's stepping into his prime, into a body that might be the most athletic in the entire league. For years, his growth was slow but steady. But now, it feels like his time has finally come. I mean, last season, we already saw glimpses. You know, nights when he looked like the Warriors' best scorer on the floor. The truth is, every offseason, he just keeps leveling up, driven by the pursuit of that bigger bag, which will come. But until then, he's out to prove a point, that he's worth every penny. And here's the scary part. The dude still might not even be in the starting lineup in 2026. He and his agent might go crazy over that bit of detail. But firepower, explosiveness, depth, whatever you want to call it,
That's what
the
we
Warriors
need.
have it in Kuminga.
We need
And
that.
that should terrify every
He's literally the most athletic person on the team. Sorry, hands down. There's nobody else that's more athletic than Jonathan Kuminga, and we need it.
everyone else. I mean, picture this. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter who's ever lived. Jimmy, the most intense commander on the floor since Jordan. And Kuminga, an athletic force of nature coming off the bench. Now, I know what some people are going to say. The league has gotten better. What about the other teams? They've all made big moves too. And sure, there's some truth to that. But let's look at the facts. First off, the East is shaping up to be a cakewalk in the 2026 finals. The Celtics without Tatum are done. The Pacers without Halliburton are done as well.
Yep.
So that leaves us the Cavaliers and the Knicks in the East.
Pistons,
Now, I'll give credit where
those
it's
type
due.
of guys.
Donovan Mitchell is electric. He's one of the most entertaining players in the league and earned All-NBA First Team in 2025. But when it comes to the postseason, guys, History tells us he just doesn't get it done. And the Knicks? Well, as we already saw, their style of play is too top-heavy. In the playoffs, they got exposed by a team that ran the floor and rained threes, the exact brand of basketball the Warriors thrive on today. So let's be real. The East isn't built to stand a chance against Golden State in the finals for 2026.
Fuck no. Nobody
Now looking
is.
at the West, let's be honest. There are really only two teams standing in the Warriors' way, OKC and the Nuggets. These aren't going to be cakewalks, but if we're talking 7-game series, I've got the Warriors taking down either one of them in 6 or 7. Beyond that, you've got the Tier 2 teams, the Lakers, Mavericks, Timberwolves, maybe the Rockets.
Yep.
Then there's the Clippers too. That is, if Kawhi even plays after the little salary cap circumvention situation.
Out.
But let's be real. None of those Tier 2 squads are taking out Golden State. That is, if the Warriors stay healthy. That's the one true Achilles heel for 2026.
Yep.
Health.
Health.
This team is built for the playoffs, not the grind of the 82-game regular season. And that means two things are critical. First, they need a strong start. The last thing they can afford is dropping games they should win,
Yep.
forcing Kerr to run his stars into the ground just to climb the standings.
Yep.
If they stay locked in early,
That was one of our biggest problems, is that even though we made the trade for Jimmy Butler and people don't realize it, we were barely a 500 team, if 500 at all, when we made that trade for Jimmy Butler. And then when we made that trade, we were fighting every single game to win because we were trying to make the playoffs. We were trying to win and scrap every single game. Every single game was intense. You can't live a season like that and be successful. You, like he said, you have to have a good early start so you can be able to have lumps and lulls in between seasons. But in between games, and get back to it, and then lose 1, 2, maybe 3 games, and then get back to your streak, get back to it, get back going on, But you don't want to run, like you said, run your stars into the ground, especially with us being older.
that's step one toward another championship run. Second, Steve Kerr has to lean on a deep rotation. I'm talking 10, maybe even 12 guys in the regular season. Just don't burn out the vets. Keep Curry, Butler, Draymond, and Horford fresh for April, May, and June. If they manage those two things, get off to a hot start and keep their vets' legs fresh, then come playoff.
The players you need to manage the most. Steph. Look at this line. Look at his starting lineup, chat. Cam was wondering what our starting line. He got Steph, Melton, Jimmy, Draymond, and Horford as his starting lineup. And then GP2, Buddy, Moody, Kuminga, and QP. But yeah, and then he thinks Trace and Pods should be spare depth pieces. That's kind of interesting. I like that. I kind of like his lineup. I'm liking that one. I don't know if Melton's going to be back and fully healthy for the beginning of the year, though. From what they were talking about, he might be missing some time in the beginning, so I don't know. We'll see.
Time? Sheesh. The Warriors are going to be absolutely lethal. And then comes the question. When Steph Curry wins his 5th ring, what does that mean for LeBron's legacy? Can we really call LeBron the greatest of this generation if Curry ends up with 5 championships to his 4, and with 3 of those coming directly at LeBron's expense? And what does that do to the NBA's marketing machine? The one that's been built around LeBron for the past 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA's worst nightmare has arrived.
And it's the Warriors! And it's the Warriors!